the winter of 332 BC, Alexander surprised everyone. Instead of turning towards Persia, he left his army by the Nile and headed off with his close companions towards Libya. His goal was the distant oasis of Siwa and the famous oracle of Amun. He was still seeking signs from the gods. From the Nile Valley, it's 700 kilometers to Siwa, and the last stage goes straight into the desert. For Alexander, 8 or 9 days' journey. He came through the little oasis of Gara, and we camped close by.
This is the way to make the good salad.
This is Alexander Christus.
That's why this is salad au Alexandre. Blood in everything.
Sweet blood.
Now you see, I think it must have been a bit like this for Alexander and the boys. See, these are young bloods. They're only men in their early 20s. They've been on a campaign for 2 or 3 years, and now they've got a few weeks off in the middle of Egypt, and they're camping out at night, lighting fires underneath the stars, drinking a bit of date wine, having a bit of fun. I think the journey to Siwa must have been an exciting experience for them.
This part of the journey, the Greeks talk about a landscape without any features. There wasn't a single tree or mountain by which we could get our bearings, they say. Just a great ocean of sand.
Finally, they entered Siwa. Even today, it's another world from the Egypt of the Nile Valley. A strange and magical place. Siwa stands in the middle of the desert, but it's wonderfully fertile, miraculously so. Not surprising then that for so long people came here expecting miracles. For here on the sacred hill, the god Amun, Zeus to the Greeks, was believed to speak directly to mankind. Alexander and his friends approached on the sacred way. They refreshed themselves in a pool known as the Spring of the Sun. It's still here. He set foot on the sacred path with Hephaestion and his closest companions, their clothes still dust-streaked from the desert. And what did he want to hear from the oracle? Arian says his burning desire was not to ask about his future fate, but to find out who his father really was. The oracle shrine stands on top of the hill. It's perhaps the only place on earth where you can trace his footsteps right up to the door. He stood on this spot and looked in at the gilded barge and the strange gold statue of the god Amun, whose eyes met his. Alexander stepped forward and asked his questions. The answer was delivered by the priests, written on papyrus, literally a letter from heaven. As they gave it to him, they greeted him in Greek as the Son of God. That was all he needed to hear.